Hi, YouTubers. Um, I was wanting to do a video about some people that are getting discouraged on prepping. They're seeing videos of people that have all this and have all that. And they don't have that, and they're getting discouraged thinking that they'll never get that much and blah, blah, blah. Well, prepping is something that, you do the best you can. Would it be nice to have several years worth of food stored back and water and everything? Yeah, that gives you food and water that you don't have to worry about. And then you can focus on other things. But, you know, you also, sometimes the person that has all the food might not even be the one that survives. Because you never know, the situation might entail that you can't stay where you're at or where your food is at. You might not be able to stay there due to a natural disaster, destroy the house, uh, fire, raids from people, uh, martial law or military saying you can't go in this area, basically tell you you've got to leave that area. It's just, you never know. There'll be riots in that area that, people destroying stuff, big groups of people burning houses. You never know. You know, some areas, you look at your area. Oh, well, I live here. There's nothing around that be valuable to anybody. Good possibility they will mess with me. Yeah, that's a possibility. But you got to think. You know, everybody out here. You know, yeah, having all that food, it does give you security and it does help you as long as you can stay with the food or transport the food. But if something happens and you can't transport transport the food, or you can't stay with the food, then you're in the same situation as everyone else. Basically you gotta pack what you can, and there ain't no way you're gonna carry a year's supply of food in a backpack. So you know you put as much as you can up. The way I look at it is, if I can stay where I need to be, then I have the food. That's more of a bug in situation. Basically, if I can't leave, the food's there to sustain me during the time that I need to be here and stay here until I can get out. That's really the only reason I'm prepping food, because I'm in the city, and right now, until I maybe can get the land and get out, but I'm in the city. If something bad happens, you know, if it's bad enough that I can't stay here, I'll grab as much food as I can take. And if I have a vehicle where I can use it, I'll load it down with as much as I can take, because that's food I need. But all in all, yeah, I've got money invested in it, but you know, maybe somebody that needs it more than I do will find it after the fact if I can't take it with me. But the thing is, you know, the food's only useful for me if I'm staying here. And if I can't take it with me and I've got to go, then the food stays here. So if I'm bugged in, I've got food. That's the only reason I've done it. Now, you got to look at the situation. You're going to spend 2 years living at your house. Now, depends on your circumstance, where you're set up, and how your neighbors are set up, and all that situation. and all that. But if you've got to leave, you're not going to be able to take all of it, because I've seen videos on here where people's got like an entire guest room set up more or less like a store, and entire basements and all that. That's a lot of food. It can sustain them for a long time as long as they're there, or they have a way of transporting it. They've got to move it. Shoot, they ain't carrying it. It's just something to think about. Don't be discouraged just because you ain't got as much as everyone else. Well, your situation might not entail for you having lots of food. You might be in an area that staying where you're at ain't the smartest thing to do. And, having less food or easier to carry food, might be better than having tons of industrial cans and stuff. So, it's something you need to look into. Look at your situation. Get a plan, and then get a backup plan, and then get a backup plan for that plan. You never can plan enough. Because it always seems like the one thing you didn't think about, or the one thing you didn't think could happen, is what happens. And you ain't prepared for it. That's why I've always thought, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Because, if I'm preparing that, financial collapse, and we end up having, a solar incident or nuclear war or something like that, then I'm in trouble. But luckily, I've took precautions in pretty much each scenario. At least it's what I've done. I've took precautions in different scenarios. A lot of the prep for any of the scenarios is pretty close to the same. It's just certain aspects, you should think about. Prepping for one is, storing food, water, and things to sustain yourself. Well, in a nuclear aspect, you've got to have a way of sealing up your house to keep radiation out, or having a basement or something already pre-set up for radiation. Radiation does not like turning corners. So if you take two 90-degree corners before you get to your actual living area, if you get any radiation, it'll be very, very low radiation. Gas masks, heavy-duty gloves to go on your arms, like a rain suit, works for radiation. Thick rain suit with a hood and all that, with drawstring. Just things like that. Galoshes, boots, keep your feet wet. Put all this on with the pants and everything, and then take duct tape, wonderful duct tape, and put around openings, around your gloves and stuff, seal yourself in. If it's hot outside, you're going to be killing in there. But, if you have to go outside for whatever reason to get food, for whatever reason you didn't prepare, or you have to go outside for something to burn, wood or something, or whatever, that at least protects you during that period of time, during the radiation aspect. Now, even if the infrastructure just collapses, you're looking at some form of radiation. If you live anywhere near or downwind from any nuclear power plants, so you're going to deal with radiation. Unless you live really out in the middle of nowheres and you're really far away from radiation, power plants, and all that shit. And most people in America ain't that far from a nuclear power plant, sadly. Because when the power shuts down, there's only so long before they will melt down. A backup system will only work so long. And if we deal with a solar flare, unless they can come up with something to keep it cool, it ain't going to last very long. And you're going to get radiation and all that. Because when they melt down, they're going to melt down. And if there ain't no power for whatever reason, or nobody to maintain them, like in a virus situation, nobody going to work, then you're going to have problems. There's going to be major pandemonium. So look at your situation. Look at where you're at. Look at nuclear power plants. How far away are they? Are you downwind from them? Now remember, the wind goes from west to east. So if you're east of a nuclear power plant, you might want to start prepping a little bit more for that. So, that's just a few things that you might need to look at, because it don't matter how much food you have if you die from radiation sickness. And it don't matter how much food you got stocked back if you can't take it with you when you've got to leave. So, just because you ain't got all the food doesn't mean that you're not a good prepper. If you're prepping at all, then you're already doing better than a lot of people. So look at what you're doing. Any little bit helps. Even if you only got 6 months worth of food, 6 months worth of food don't sound like a lot when it's in the big scheme, but you might be able to at least run that 6 months through the winter, and then be able to do some canning and growing and farming, and scavenging, and who knows what else to get the food to cover you that summer and cover you that winter. Is it going to be easy? No. Of course, when is life ever really easy? Everything takes a little challenge, and anything worth having or worth preserving is worth fighting for. If you ain't got a lot, figure out how to make a lot. You ain't got to go out here and buy the most expensive MRE prepared, type meals. Go to like a low budget site grocery store. We've got a Save-A-Lot. It's pretty much the cheapest store. There's Big Lots. Almost everybody's got a Big Lots. They sell canned food at cheap prices. Stay away from Pop Tops. They will explode. The pressures get wrong inside. But, find the cheapest food you can find. And then for a little bit amount of money, go for it. And if you ain't got the money out of your monthly, have a yard sale. Sell some old clothes that you don't wear no more. Go and if you have some scrap metal lying around, take it to the foundry. Go mow your neighbor's yard for some money. Whatever you can do to make that extra little bit to put toward putting food. Is it easy? No. Some of these people have been doing this for years getting to this point. But it's better to have 50 cans of beans than have no cans of beans. You know what I mean? So I guess that's pretty much what I'm trying to say is, don't be discouraged. Just keep trucking on. It might happen in the next couple days, or it could happen in a couple of years from now. Nobody really knows exactly what date it'll happen. For whatever reason it happens. So you might have more time than you think, or you might not. So just try to do what you can as quick as you can, and the only time you truly fail is when you give up. As long as you keep fighting, you've never lost a battle. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Hope I've helped a few people with this video. God bless, and catch you later.